We are back talking
Hi.
about the Nintendo Direct Mini. There were mild technical concerns. If you are on the iTunes side, I will try to make the splicing together as unawkward as possible. It might not even include this bit because we are going back to talking about the Mario segment on the Nintendo Direct Mini. We were talking about the hide and seek. We had some concerns, which we discussed. What I think is more interesting, quite frankly, are the new outfits. There's also new snapshots coming to this new update, which is coming out in February. The first one is Sunshine Shades and outfit. The second one is a musician hat and outfit, which is from the Pauline band. And then the third one is the knight helmet and armor. And I have a question about this last one. So the promotional images that we've seen that are attached to this knight helmet and armor show it in the Dragon World in Super Mario Odyssey. And my question is this world in the game because the developers played Dark Souls and really liked it, or is it in the game because Treehouse and Nintendo of America is self-aware that the Mario Odyssey development team may have unintentionally made a world that looks exactly like Dark Souls, and now they're putting two and two together?
I think it's the clever part of it.
And well, who's the clever one? Is it Nintendo? It's Nintendo of America, not Nintendo's marketing side in general, because the Japanese Direct might look the same. But you don't think that there's a chance that the Odyssey team made EAD Tokyo made a Dark Souls world because they really like Dark Souls, and then this is one further nod to it?
I have no idea.
Yeah, neither do I.
I mean, considering that, like, Anuma found out about Skyrim because it had a similar name as Skyward Sword, maybe some low-level people in EAD Tokyo for the Dark Souls, they're trying to, like, sell, like, Koizumi being like, we should put this in the game, and he's like, that sounds cool and original. And they're like, yes, it is.
Because that game feels a lot... Not that game, but that specific world feels weirdly of Dark Souls. And that dragon, which is low-key my favorite boss in the game, maybe, feels a lot like a Dark Souls boss. And the way that you're maneuvering off to the side. And I guess... And you're not using the roll mechanic, but the way you sort of circle around the attacks is slightly similar to how you would circle around the Dark Souls boss, which I know I'm stretching, but in my heart of hearts, I like to think that EAD Tokyo played Dark Souls, really liked it, and then took direct inspiration in Super Mario Odyssey. I have no proof.
You could believe whatever you want to believe.
Yes, sir.
The world is your oyster.
February. There's this other chick game which makes me wish Zach was here. It is called
SNK Heroines.
SNK Heroines, published by NIS America. So it's SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy, available this summer. And then hand in hand with that, there's Neo Geo Art of Fighting 2, available today on Nintendo eShop Hamster. That I didn't even pay attention to that part. Not because that game doesn't deserve attention, but because, one, I don't play too many fighting games, and two, I respect fan service, but it's never a thing for me. It's often not a thing for me.
Yeah, this is actually based on a game for the Neo Geo Pocket Color, so they're getting really obscure into the fan service at this point.
Just trying to one-up Pocket Rumble. Or Pocket Rumble.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it looks like a good fighting game. Like, I have no attachment to the characters that they're celebrating, so it doesn't mean much to me.
Right. All right. I guess that's all we have to say about that one. We might have slightly more to say about the next one. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, they revealed who the new character and DLC story pack would be about. It is about Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong will be the 5th character. There were some cool little remixed...
9th.
Huh?
9th character.
4 Rabbids, 4 Mario characters, and now Donkey Kong.
Is there going to be a Donkey... Well, we don't know if there's going to be a Donkey Kong Rabbid yet.
There is a Donkey Kong Rabbid. He's a boss in the game.
Okay. All right. So 9th.
Maybe
And
they'll
then
have a Diddy Kong Rabid.
It's going to be story mode DLC. And they had some Donkey Kong Country Returns inspired visuals and music.
And it's Kirkhope. So you get you like the Donkey Kong Country composer working on more Donkey Kong music, which like that's awesome. That's probably one of the coolest parts about DK being a DLC character. This just reminded me I need to play more Mario and Rabbids. Like I was working on the challenge stuff on World 1 and then just kind of put it aside as other games came out. But I was really digging what I played in that game. I need to go back to it someday, some year, some month.
This spring. It's coming out.
Yeah.
Cherry Goblin calls attention to the fact that there is no mention of Xenoblade 2 DLC. If I remember correctly, the interesting DLC is coming out this fall, and the Quest DLC. If there's another direct before E3, they'll just slide that in there.
I'm gonna look because they actually did have details on what the expansion pack was.
And I think there's an update due out this month still.
So yeah, you can buy the expansion pass, and that's like you get the bonus items and stuff. Support items for your journey coming out at launch. Then they were giving more support items out. That wasn't the Mea Culpa for the crappy map, or was that always planned?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like they may just keep giving out more things for people who have the pass as time goes on.
So DLC Pack 2 for Xenoblade 2 is coming out in January. New quests for the main game. New Rare Blade is coming in spring 2018. The new Challenge Battle Mode is coming out in the summer. And a brand new story and adventure is in the fall. So, yeah, there is supposed to be Xenoblade DLC coming out this month. But, I mean, it's probably... It's kind of like the early, less exciting DLC of just like, it's going to be some side quests and stuff. Yeah. So that might just be like, there's a press release. It's out today.
Yeah, not to get too off topic, but while we're on the subject of Xenoblade DLC, I still think it's insane that I don't think it's mentioned anywhere in game that this DLC exists. I could be wrong, but I don't think I saw it. I just had to go on the eShop and know to go there to get it.
I almost like that though.
I know. Well, I bought the expansion pass like with the game, and there isn't something in the menu. If you
don't think I saw anything before.
Oh, okay.
I forgot it even existed, and then I'm like, wait, isn't there DLC for this game? Looked it up on my phone. I'm like, well, where do I go to even get this? Then I just get the game and go to the eShop.
Yeah, because I downloaded it from the eShop and got like the bundle that came with the expansion pass. So when I start playing the game on that main menu, there's just a thing that says expansion pass. And I go there and like got my items and stuff. I didn't know that wasn't there if you didn't have it downloaded.
I don't think it is. I mean, if somebody knows, chime in the chat or something, or send an email. I don't know. It felt bizarre to me that I couldn't figure it out in game. Maybe it was hidden in like a super deep menu. Who knows?
You know what's the craziest thing in Xenoblade 2? I think the craziest thing in Xenoblade 2 is that one of the characters in the game, his specialty blade, is quite literally a xenomorph from Alien. And I have no idea why they made that decision, or if it was a Nintendo Wonderful 101 Breath of the Wild style revelation of we accidentally made the exact same thing as this important thing from pop culture. But that guy's blade is totally a xenomorph from Alien. And I want it really bad. And then I got a blade later that's also kind of like a xenomorph from Alien, but not as much of a xenomorph as the original guy. I don't know. You guys noticed this too, right?
I don't know if I'm that far.
No. It's the guy with the black hair. Is his name a Hunter? Is it what are their names? The people who have blades. Drivers. Yeah, no. There's the driver with the black hair, who is kind of the counterpart to you. He's almost like a rival, and he helps you at the beginning of the game. He's part of that team. And he has this guy who looks like a xenomorph from Alien.
Okay, I think I know what guy you're talking about.
He has the tail, and he has the exact same color.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, what's his name?
There's a story in this game?
Neil, do you know who I'm talking about?
I do know now. I
don't remember because I played the like chapter 1 in early December, and then
I do remember
took a
now,
month
man.
off.
I do. It took a while because I forgot there's a story. I'm so sidetracked. I'm doing like endgame stuff in chapter 4, probably. Who the hell knows?
Too busy fighting like level 89 apes that are just wandering the wasteland. Yeah, it's I'm gonna send you guys a picture in this chat now. I'll send it in both chats because I'm really obsessed with you guys knowing who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do know now.
Okay. All right. Oh, wait, it's not posting. But let me see. This must be riveting.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember that.
Yeah, and I feel like there must be a way you can get them in game. And then I gotta do this and that.
And
right.
just so you know,
Not letting it send. All right.
Don in chat informs everybody here. You need to go to the eShop to get the DLC.
Oh wow, that's not fantastic.
That's come on. The marketing team should have been all over that.
What's the guy with the black hair's name?
I don't remember, Alex, but I mean, we're pretty sidetracked at this point.
We should maybe talk about
No. This is more important, guys. I'm just teasing.
Payday
Payday 2.
Payday 2. Steer us back on the direct road.
I'm saying Payday 2, boys. I'm saying Payday 2. February 27th comes with a new character early. I know we're all Payday heads in this chat. Let's look forward to that one. That actually seems like a really cool game. A lot of people really love Payday 2, but I don't have much to say about it because we already knew this game was coming.
It looks like it's gonna be good if you want that.
Yeah.
I know. I think like Sumo Digital's handling the port or something. Anyway,
from Little Big Planet fame.
Also, Snake Pass, and that friggin' rad Sonic Racing game.
Yeah.
Not the good one.
Mm-hmm. After that came the 2 indie games. There's Faye, the EA original games, which has a neat little art style.
It's by Zoink Games, who they have Flipping Death. What was the other game that they had? Did they do Stick It to the Man? Hold on.
Zoink, yeah.
Zoink Games did Stick It to the Man, which came out on Wii U, also came out on Switch. They did Zombie Vikings, which... Oh, you know why? Like, I think they're buddies with the Image and Form gang.
And they're doing Flipping Death.
Yeah, Flipping Death. They also worked on some Android games. And the Core Gang on Wii, which is a game that I vaguely remember. But yeah, no, I mean, Faye looks very good. But, oh man, Celeste.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's by the Towerfall.
Looks like a game for me.
Yeah. If you want to also, well, it's probably older at this point, but I played, so it's Matt Makes Games, Matt Thorson, who I follow him on Twitter. He made some of the best Super Mario Maker levels I ever played in that game. And he also made this game called Untitled Story that I think you can get for free online. It's been a long time since I played it, but it's a very good game. And Towerfall is probably my favorite like couch co-op competitive multiplayer game ever. And yeah, this is a platform made by the dude who made Towerfall. I'm stupidly excited for this game. I can't wait. 2 weeks away.
Very nice. Very nice. That brings us to our very next game, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, featuring
plus Funky Kong.
It's like Nintendogs plus cats. It's Donkey Kong Country Returns Tropical Freeze plus Funky Kong. Coming out May 4th, and Funky Kong is going to be included as kind of like a golden Tanuki suit style character, where he's kind of easy mode, can get hurt, but most of the stuff doesn't hurt him.
Yeah, I think, what is it? He can like hover infinitely. He's got a surfboard. He's got some dope sunglasses. He can do a double jump. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just makes you wonder why he didn't help out before and just let everybody else who could die do all this stuff.
You know why? Yeah. Is Funky Kong a drug dealer?
My sister would say yes. She calls him Junkie Kong.
Like, dude ain't worked a day in his life, right? Like, he had his rental place, but that's a front.
I think he's more either guy who sits around the circle at rehab and has a really dark story but came back from the pits, or really cool Sunday school teacher.
I was reflecting on some of my favorite Funky Kong moments, which just him and Mario Super Sluggers is aces, because he uses the surfboard as a bat.
So one of your favorite moments isn't him being one of the most broken characters in Mario Kart Wii?
Was it? Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before Koopalings, there was Funky Kong.
Anyways, we are on to our last announcement of the night, but before that, I devoted 3 minutes to talking about a Xenoblade character I didn't know who I was talking about. All I will say is I was referring to Malos, who has the suit, and he has the black faux hawk, and you meet him in the first 20-30 minutes of the game, and his blade looks like an alien from a Xenoblade.
It does. He speaks the truth.
That's all I gotta say. The last announcement of the night, I need to talk about this one. This is the one I was excited about. When I heard some inklings that this could potentially be coming, I got very, very excited. And I don't get excited for remasters at all. But Dark Souls Remastered is coming on May 25th, 2018. And I want to tell you all the reasons why I'm excited for it. One, it's going to be on handheld. And I've always wanted a Souls game on a handheld. I thought that it is a really good place for an RPG like that, or I thought it is worth a try. Two, Dark Souls is the only game from that trilogy that I have not beaten yet, and I would love the opportunity to beat that. Three, one of the reasons why I've always been scared to go back to Dark Souls is because even though I've beaten one of these games without using help before, the community has certainly worn down over the years, and then there's certainly a much smaller Dark Souls 1 community in those games than there was in the past. The reason why doing a Dark Souls remaster is such a good idea is because those games are driven by their active communities. And even though the original Dark Souls game runs perfectly fine on PC and on PlayStation 3 and everything, giving it an updated official graphics set, putting it on modern consoles, putting it on a Nintendo console to expose it on a new audience, and also sort of giving a resurgence to a game that is at least partially driven by its community, I think this remaster is going to do wonders for it.
I might play it.
Yeah, you should. I'm going to buy it. $60.
I think I'm gonna give it a try just because I don't really know much about it, but I like hard games sometimes. And
it's $40 by the way.
And people always say Dark Souls is difficult, so I want to see what that's about.
It's here's Dark Souls 1 is probably the hardest of the three in my opinion. I've played 1, 2, 3, and Bloodborne. Justin, how hard do you think Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze Returns is?
I think most of the game is not that bad, but some of the special levels were difficult.
I'd say 10 to 15 to 20% harder than those games. It's an RPG games, that you're gonna die, and there is a learning process, but it's a little fairer than trial and error. It's like part JRPG, part action RPG, part action game. I would call the difficulty harder than those two Donkey Kong Country games, but only by 10 to 20%.
Okay, I mean, I've completed the hardest difficulty story mode in F-Zero GX, so where would you place it compared to that?
I think
I want to watch that. Like, can we do a stream? I want to see you beat that game.
I can't do it consistently, man. It took me like days doing that. That was frustrating. I haven't played it since then. I think I broke a GameCube controller doing it.
I was
just
playing
like
GX
the stick was so worn out.
That's the next Cube Fight game. And playing GX, I forgot how, like, I'm playing that like the story mode. I'm like, this isn't that bad, and like it's like you get to like the fourth one, and you're like, who the hell made this?
You put it, and I mean, have you done the hardest difficulty yet, or tried it on any of them?
No, I haven't. I mean, I did back in the day. Like, I don't know if I ever beat it on normal back in the day, but I know I got very close. Because everything that I've been replaying, yeah, like I remember. It's just that I don't remember it being as hard as it is.
No, it's downright brutal and unfair. And
anyway, you should play Dark Souls and you should stream it. You should stream. I want to watch you play Dark Souls.
I need to give this a try, I think.
So, May 25th.
Terry Goblin's right. F-Zero GX being so damn hard is one of the reasons why the series is now dormant.
I thought it was the anime.
The anime. Actually, no, I think the anime is the bigger culprit. But anyway, yeah, Dark Souls. I'll probably check it out. I played Demon Souls like years ago and didn't really get into it, and then kind of never had an interest in the series. But if it's on Switch, that means it's probably more likely that I'll actually play it. So,
yeah.
And Don's saying I'm probably going to break a Switch. I only broke the control stick. So the good thing about the Switch is if I break one of those, I could just buy another Joy-Con. So we're okay. We're going to make it.
I would be willing to pay $60 for it, but thankfully the MSRP is $40 on consoles. They're still yet to announce the PC pricing scheme. Also, the cover art for this game is bad freaking ass. It is a Dark Souls knight. I don't know what you call that character. I don't think that's a named character, but basically the quintessential knight-esque character of Dark Souls standing in front of a flame, and it looks like really good fan art, but I mean that as a compliment, where if you ever look at like fan cover art and it looks way better than a company would ever actually put out, that's how this cover looks to me. Like it has an understanding of what Dark Souls is. The recommendation I would give to people who are interested in playing a game like this but want the most accessible one, Bloodborne is probably, if you have a PlayStation 4, I would recommend Bloodborne, or I would recommend Dark Souls 2, believe it or not, despite the criticism. I think Dark Souls 2, it was my first Souls game, and that's the one that hooked me on the series. So,
well, staying on topic a bit, I think what they need to do with this is, for the Nintendo version, add amiibo support and add that Chibi Robo amiibo support.
Yeah, no, I mean, wasn't that Chibi Robos in Dark Souls, right? That's what that tweet meant.
Yeah. And isn't it kind of disappointing that for all the Twitter edits that people have done of Flames and Chibi Robo and Funky Kong and Dark Souls, that there has been no edit of Dark Souls guy over Flame with a tiny Chibi Robo at the bottom?
I'm pretty sure that that's happened. You just haven't looked hard enough.
I think what happens is I follow Nibel on Twitter, and I just assume that any of the hot screen Photoshop edits come from him, and he hasn't tweeted one out, so I assumed it didn't exist. There's also, my favorite one is this GIF of Knight Cappy Mario on a GIF of the Dark Souls remastered cover with a fire, and it's real cool. But that's the direct. That's 14 minutes we just talked about. We talked about 14 minutes of content right there. And I think it was a pretty good 14 minutes. I mean, it didn't have Smash, didn't have Animal Crossing, didn't have Pokemon, the hottest game of spring 2018. But
what?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking about the expectations some people have for this direct.
Here's a good way to think about it. And like, I know at the start of the show, Justin, you were banging the drum for Animal Crossing 2018, which, I mean, they had that mobile game. It would make sense to follow up on it.
Yeah.
If you're like, man, I want that Pokemon game, or where's the new Smash Brothers? Just wait. Like, it seemed like the dude from the Pokemon company had a gun to his head when he said that the mainline Pokemon's coming to Switch. So, like, just give them some time to make the game. Like Smash Brothers, I mean, there's been rumors abound, but if they're making a new Smash Brothers, that's gonna take a long time. Those games have a lot of variables. They take a lot of time to make, a lot of time to test. Like, unless they've been working on a Smash Brothers game like since the last one ended, we're not seeing a new Smash Brothers game in 2018.
Well, my whole thought on the Smash Brothers situation was they wouldn't rebuild the entire game from scratch because you just did it, and it just seems like a complete waste to rebuild all those characters again, which is what they've been doing with all the other ones. So
Yeah.
That would save a considerable time, obviously.
It's still, I mean, unless you're just it's gonna be just a straight port of the Wii U and 3DS version. That's still, there's a lot of variables when you have how many characters wound up in that 40.
I think more than that.
Oh no, yeah, no, 35 was in like Brawl or something. Yeah, I think there was like 50.
Yeah,
like
a little over 50, I think.
You make a new stage that's
Maybe
like
more.
that's like a month straight of testing. Like,
no, yeah, I understand it's difficult, but
like, yeah, just I'm not saying.
And I wasn't expecting
your
Animal Crossing or Smash today. Let me be honest with
Yeah.
you. That was not expectation of mine for.
I'm not saying you're.
I think Nintendo owes both to us, frankly.
Eventually. Eventually, it
no,
will.
I mean, a good rule of thumb when directs like this show up, and this has helped me a lot. Where like, I don't think I've been disappointed by a direct in a very long time, because it's like there'll probably be a surprise announcement or two, some release dates, some new information about games that we know. At this point, I think it's safe to assume there's probably going to be a Wii U port in a direct too. Just hang along for the ride. Like, there's a lot of games coming out on Switch. There's like so many, a bunch of cool ones coming out like this week, next week, week after that. Just chill. Just be like Funky Kong. Get your bandana, your sunglasses, your jorts, whatever drug of your choice, and just chill. Be like Funky Kong. Yeah, is the surfboard secretly a bong? That's what I need to know.
Might have a little compartment.
Do you think Funky Kong refers to himself as a citizen of the world?
He's probably got like a hemp bracelet or something. He probably has like one of those ponchos.
He probably does one of those things where he goes to cannabis clothing stores and buys like $150 in cannabis sweatshirts just so he can get like weed as his free gifts. Because that's what happens in Massachusetts now. Anyways, Rizza says, I wish Nintendo would just come out and say Smash is in 2020 and be done with it. While that would be a bit of a relief, Rizza, that invites two things. One, people being really pissed because Nintendo is not putting out Smash enough fast enough. And two, people are going to focus on this game that's coming out in 2020 and they won't give a rat's behind about these other games that are coming in the near future because Smash eclipses almost all of them.
Yeah. I mean, I do think whenever Smash does happen, you got to announce it like almost a year before, because one of the greatest things that Smash can do is generate a hype cycle for a very long time with, a slow churn out of reveals. They did like the Smash Dojo blog was a thing that I checked every day of my life when it was active. I would wake up in the morning and be like, yo, man, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. Or like, here's like Pit's side B. Like, that was incredible. Then they did the photo of the day stuff with Smash Wii U and 3DS. So whenever Smash does happen, you got to do something cool. Maybe you got a video show. I don't know. Maybe it's Snapchat. Give Sakurai a Snapchat.
Like, I remember where I was physically when I read the dojo announcement that Sonic the Hedgehog was coming to Brawl.
Yeah, I was in college. I think I was late for a class.
I think I was in bed and I woke up in the middle of the night. And then if that happened during that Brawl era, I'd just be like, oh, better check my browser. And I didn't have a phone back then, so I'd pop up in my DS web browser and take like 10 minutes to load. And with the cart in the bottom. And I saw it with Sonic and couldn't believe it.
When that was announced, I had been 13 for about 2 months. October 10th, 2007.
Oh my god, you're such a baby.
It's Nintendo World Report. Yeah, 1994. And like, you know what? I'm 23 now, so.
Yeah. It's all right. I'm going to play a Kirby game and then turn 30 in March. It's gonna be the best.
Is that what Kirby does to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna play Kirby. It'll be a good bookend because I played Kirby's Epic Yarn when I just got out of college and like couldn't find a job. It was real sad. So now I'm gonna turn 30 and play Kirby Star Allies, and I'll just be real stoked about friendship and Meta Knight and making him happier. Because that's I'm gonna be so disappointed if they're just like, "Yo, Kirby killed Meta Knight. He didn't want to be friends with him."
Kirby puts the mask on and becomes the new Meta Knight.
It just becomes Kirby becomes Dark Souls. He just stabs him in the head.
Is Neil, when's your birthday?
March 18th, so 2 days after Kirby.
If I remember, I'm going to remember to draw you in paint a very poorly drawn Kirby frowning, and then that will be my 30th birthday present to you.
Make sure it has angry eyebrows.
But like really thick, bushy ones.
Yeah, no, he's Kirby. It's as Kirby gets older, he's got more eyebrow hair.
He scruffs up like an old dog.
Anyway, there's other games that aren't in the direct that are cool.
Yeah, you can talk about that if you like.
Sorry,
Neil. One last thing. The thing is, if I don't bring this up now, we won't bring it up at all. Where's Yoshi?
I'm coming later this year, probably. Just not in this direct.
You remember how long the last Yoshi game took to make after we found out about it?
I would take Yoshi. Okay, let's lay this out. So we know basically Nintendo Switch lineup until the end of March. We got Dragon Quest Builders, Bayonetta 1 and 2 in February. We're gonna have Kirby in March. I guess there could be other things coming out, but then we also have Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition and Mario Tennis Aces coming probably sometime between March and May. We have Donkey Kong confirmed for May. So they probably don't need to have another first-party Switch game until May, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a little port heavy, but like that's fun. Like let's say between April and May, you're gonna have Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, Donkey Kong Country, and Mario Tennis Aces. That's a good 2-month stretch. I think
the E3 trailer only promises 2018 the year.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is I think Yoshi will be. I mean, maybe it's a June game, maybe it's a fall game. I don't know, but
I think it's an October game.
I think that Yoshi is not coming out until after May, and that's why it wasn't here.
September, October. I'm saying for Yoshi.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm looking at the footage now, and part of me wonders if there's a small chance that they looked at this game and they thought that this is not fun enough yet, which is not me being overly critical. It's just something about this game doesn't look like it fully clicks together. But I'm saying that as someone who hasn't played it. Did you see the Treehouse Live that they did on it? I'm scanning through some footage of it as we speak. Okay. Does it seem? It seems like it's very Little Big Planet-y plus Yoshi's story is my impression. It does seem a little slower paced than Woolly World was, but I don't know if it's a bad thing or not. It looks gorgeous. It looks freaking amazing, but I don't know. But that's all. I just wanted to check in on Yoshi because that's one we all expected to see during this one. Neil, tell me about these indie games to cap us off. All right. So Gunhouse is a really ridiculous game that has an awesome soundtrack from Disaster Piece, who did the soundtrack for the movie It Follows, as well as the video game Fez. So Gunhouse is a tower defense game. It's best with the touchscreen, and it's got ridiculous art. And the way it works is that like you have a gun house, and you're basically playing a fast-paced puzzle game, trying to match up groups of blocks that you then shift to the left to be a gun or to the right to be a special attack. And it's a lot of these kind of 15-second segments as you're trying to set up one of 3 different weapon types that you have equipped, and try to get your special attacks or weapons ready for the coming hordes of enemies. And then it'll go to the enemies charging at you, and then you can deploy your weapons and special attacks however you see fit, and then rinse and repeat. It's a very simple game. There's a lot of unlockable guns. There's ridiculous ones. Like at first you get it's just like fire,
and ice, and then later it's like fork and vegetables, and those are the guns that you have. And as you play, you earn money, which you can unlock new guns and new weapons. There's different challenges. It definitely feels like a mobile game, which is where its origins are. But I've been enjoying it a whole lot. I'm actually gonna double check to see what the price is.
Ooh, this is 3 years old. This is I'm looking at a video from Necrosoft that was published on January 14th, 2014. Says out now for Amazon devices, Windows Phone, and PlayStation Vita.
I'm looking at it. Oh, it's $15 on Switch. Yeah.
I'm looking at the game now on Amazon. How much it cost? $2.99 on Amazon.
Man.
It's one of those.
Yeah, it's like Gorogoa, and Gorogoa is incredible. But
wait, how much is that game elsewhere?
It's $5. It's $5 on iOS. It is 15 on Switch
and Steam for reference.
The Nintendo difference.
Yeah, I mean, maybe $15 is a little much for what Gunhouse is, but if you've never checked that game out, I recommend checking it out. At first I was kind of lost and confused by it, but it started clicking for me. Like a half an hour in, and I've just been getting lost in it, and the music helps a lot too. Because if you have not heard Disaster Pieces music, that's probably half of the reason why Fez is as good as it is. And he's working with the director of It Follows on, I know his next movie, which I forget what it is, but I remember reading the log line for it, and it seems really cool. But the Disaster Piece music is awesome. And the game's really like ridiculous and cool.
Oh wow, I'm listening to some music now. It sounds like Wii Shop music, like remixed and chopped and screwed a little bit.
Yeah, like maybe just listen to the soundtrack if you don't want to play the game. But I think Gunhouse is really neat. I played some Super Meat Boy, which as far as soundtracks go, like I still can't get over the changed soundtrack in Super Meat Boy. Ridiculon did the new soundtrack. The old one on the Xbox 360 version was by Danny Baranowski, who I think I remember reading something about how he basically like licensed the soundtrack out for just the original release. And like I think him and Team Meat could not agree to like re-up that contract or something. And that's why there's an entirely new soundtrack on all future Super Meat Boy releases. But like that Danny Baranowski soundtrack for Meat Boy is absolute fire, and it just sucks because I don't think the Ridiculon replacement soundtrack is that bad. It's not the original. Yeah. But Super Meat Boy is real fun. I haven't really played that game in a long time, but it's very good.
That is a good video game.
Yeah. And yeah, that's all I got. There's a lot of cool stuff coming out on Switch that's not like in the indie space. Check out NintendoWorldReport.com for more details.
And I think that'll do it for this installment of Nintendo News Report for Thursday, January 11th, nearly Friday, January 12th, 2018. Alex Kalafi, of course, as always, joined by Donald Terrio. He is at Donald Mick on Twitter. Also joined by Justin Berubi at King Nintendo Fan on Twitter. Also Neil Ronahan at nron10 on Twitter. I'm at Kulafia, Culafia. That is our show. See you in a whole nother week. Follow us on iTunes, patreon.com/NWR. Bye.
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 Funky flights will take you high.